Hey, it's Rachel with Rachel Kohler Dog Training, and I am here with Susan with Pack Leader Dog Training, and we're here for our weekly Q&A.
Woo!
Susan, I gotta tell you, I am excited for this week. I think it's going to be a good Q&A. We're going to have lots of people asking us questions.
Yes,
It's going to be great.
And then after this Q&A, I have to skedaddle because Kira and I are going to her house.
Nice.
So, very excited about that.
So tell us a bit about what you and Kira are doing at her house, what the purpose of all that is while we wait for some of our friends to hop on.
So Kira's with me for a board and train. She's already done one-on-ones. And I have found that she is a independent dog that needs a firm but fair handler. And yes, she's going to benefit from me taking her like off property and stuff, but she really needs to have that relationship more so with her owners. Like with other dogs, I can pattern the good behavior and really lay the foundation, blah, blah, all that fun stuff. But I really like to tailor my program to the specific dog in front of me. And for Miss Kira, she's going to benefit from, oh, hi, Doris.
Oh. Hey there.
She's going to benefit from actually having reps with her people because she's known to be pushy. Because if you give her an inch, she's going to take the whole mile. So what we've been doing is going to her owner's house and just having them, can she maintain good form with her commands with me, who's like 100% on point? I try. Then after that, can you just exist calmly with your people? Can you not be a nutcase? And then we had the owners do some work. And then so finally today, Kira goes home Thursday. So today my plan was I'm just going to be there like a fly on the wall. I'm going to help them if they're struggling, but I really want to test them and just see how much she will do for them and how they'll troubleshoot if she doesn't listen. So that's what we're doing today. Pretty excited.
Makes sense to me. I like that. I think it's awesome that you do that because not every training program is set up in a way that you can work the dogs in their environment, and I think especially a lot of dogs, but especially Kira is really benefiting from that. So
yeah,
I guess they're lucky to have a kind of all right trainer.
Yeah, I mean,
you're okay.
I try.
Personal
approach, like the one person I just had a consult with yesterday. The days all
mushed together.
Meld together. Yesterday, Mr. Tyson.
Oh yeah.
His owner, she wanted someone where it seemed more personal. She didn't want a big facility or whatever. She wanted it to be more personalized. Unfortunately, personalized comes with like a little bit of a weight.
Right.
Because I'm only one person, and so it is small, and they're in my house, so I do have a weight, but personal preference.
Weight's worth it.
I wasn't gonna say it because it's me.
I mean, it is though. I mean, don't boost yourself too much, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I do have one question for you if you'd like.
Yeah.
I got a couple. So I had a couple people ask questions. They weren't able to join us live tonight because work schedules and things like that. So we're going to ask them here, talk about them so they can watch our replay.
Sounds good.
So just throwing that out there. What's that? Deborah Farley says hello.
Hey, Deborah.
Hey there. Thanks for joining. So one person says, I have 2 pitties that we rescued a year ago. We crate them when we're gone, but we have tried letting them out in the house to give them some freedom. Almost every time I leave, even just for an hour to run to the store, I come back and there's pee and poop on the floor. Now, anytime I leave, I let them out for a good bit. I've tried pulling them to the mess and yelling at them, no, bad, and even spanking them on the bottom. I don't know what else to do.
So peeing and pooping in the house, that one's fun. So by this time, it's become a learned behavior for your dogs. Hey, when we're let out and our owners aren't home, we're going to go potty in the house. If the dog is going potty in the house when you're not home, but is fine, when you're actually home, they haven't earned that freedom to be out of the kennel when you're away because they make bad choices, you know? That's their plight. You know, every dog has different things that they need different structure for. So like a separation anxiety dog's rules might be different from a crazy nut job independent dog's rules over there. So your dog, they just can't, I wouldn't leave them out of the kennel when I'm gone. You know, I would ask you why you want to. Probably because you feel bad that they're in their kennel when you're gone. But it's just their personal space. I wouldn't feel bad. They get to be in their den, and you get to have a nice clean house. But unfortunately, for peeing and pooping in the house, I don't punish that unless it's like marking. So punishing that won't make it go away, and you can't punish it when it's already done. You'd have to see, like, if a dog jumps, you have to punish them right as they're doing it. You can't see them jump on grandma and then 10 minutes later punish them for it. They don't correlate those two things. So I just wouldn't, unfortunately, have them out of their kennel when you're gone because they make bad choices.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. You know, the big question is why? Why do we want them to be able to be free in the house together when we're not home? Because human feelings, right? So imagine your dogs are free in the house. You're gone to the store. What do you want them to be doing while you're not there? Probably laying down, sleeping, and minding their business. They can just do that in their own space. Then there's no ands, ifs, or buts. There's no wandering off and going to the potty in the house. There's no chewing up stuff, getting into things that can make them sick. They're safe, secure, and in their space. And then, you know, like you said, if they're fine free in the house when you're home and they don't have accidents in the house any other time, it's just a learned behavior. Cool, this is what we do when mom leaves. Mm-hmm. If they're having accidents while you're home too, that would be a whole another conversation about giving them more structure and working on potty training. But for that, it would basically just be structure. You go in the kennel, you come out on leash to go potty. If you don't go potty, you go back in the kennel for a bit. You come back out and you try to go potty again. You don't get freedom until you go potty. Then same thing before they go back in the kennel, give them a chance to go potty, put them in the kennel, and then repeat that process. But it's sounding like from the message that it's just happening when they're not home. And then just to touch on this, I know you commented on correcting it in the moment. The old like wise tale or the myth or what people tell you to do is to shove the dog's face in it. That doesn't do anything. They don't understand why you're doing that. Yelling at the dog, no, bad. Those are just human words. They hear your emotion in it, so they might go like, oh gosh, but they don't know why. So to them, these things are just happening for no reason. Mm-hmm. So like Susan says, when correcting anything, we always have to do it in the moment. So just keeping that in mind.
Yeah. That's good. Good question.
Hope that helps.
I have one for you then.
Ooh. And I'll just, while you find that question, anyone live watching, feel free to ask your questions. We've got a few to go through to ask, but feel free to interrupt us and we'll get to yours first because you're here.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I've tried to train my 2 4-month-old puppies, but they're so distracted by each other that they won't focus. I can't stop them from playing with each other. And if I separate them to train them, they whine and cry. What should I do?
That's a great question. So at the end of your question, you answered it. You're going to separate them to train them. But Rachel, they're whining and they're crying. Then that's going to be an amazing training opportunity. If they're 4 months old and they already have separation anxiety from each other, we really want to nip that in the bud because life happens. Sometimes one dog goes to that and the other one needs to go home. Or an owner wants to take the dogs out but can only take one at a time. Like there's so many different situations where your dogs are going to need to be apart. And we want them to be strong, happy, confident as individuals. So we want to make sure we're giving them plenty of time throughout the day away from each other. So I don't know if this said, are they litter mates?
Yes.
Yeah. So especially with litter mates, they've been together their whole entire life. So I like to make it a point that they're created separately, like in separate rooms, that they have time out as individual dogs. And of course they're going to have playtime together, but we got to start teaching them it's okay to not be next to your sibling. because life happens, and we don't want them to be so attached to each other that they're distraught the second the other one leaves the room. It's not going to be fun at first because it already sounds like they've got a good bit of separation anxiety. So, crate training and just building that up. If you're acting like a fool in the kennel, there's going to be a consequence to that. You're never going to come out of the kennel when you're barking, whining, and screaming because you want to see your sibling. Do that throughout your whole day, throughout their whole life. So that way it's not just, hey, for 30 minutes when I go try to train them, I separate them for the first time in their life and it's a whole thing. Like, make that something that's natural to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you want 2 independent dogs, not 2 codependent dogs. Because we would have that at the vet clinic when I was working there. People would, like, our rooms are but so big, right? It's not a lot of space in those rooms. And there would be a person with their wife and their kids and their dog that we're supposed to be seeing, and the other dog, because the other dog can't be left home alone because it can't be away from the dog that we scheduled. That would happen, multiple times. And it's just like, only so much space in here. But yeah, they couldn't not bring the other dog because it has separation anxiety from the other dog. So.
Wow. I mean, I've heard like horror stories of, like my dog freaks out the whole time when the one goes to the vet. I've never heard of people like bringing both dogs.
Yeah, they'll bring both dogs.
Oh man. Yeah. So your dogs are young. They're 4 months old. It's not going to be fun for a little bit. Work through it and set them up now for a lifetime of success. You really going to want to put in the work now before it gets any worse. Without knowing like too much more details, I don't really know how to go too much into it, but crate training and spending time separate in separate crates and separate rooms is going to be your best bet. Separate rooms is pushing it, but I would rather push it with siblings and littermates. Yeah. You're really okay.
Right.
Because they know, even if the other one's in the room and they can't see it, they know they're there.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. I got another question for you if you're ready.
Shoot.
Give me 1 second. I got to pull it up. Okay. So, my collie, who's 2, will only come in the house if he sees I have a treat. Yes, it's my fault. How can I break him of this?
The long line and or just a regular leash are going to be your best friend.
Right.
So we teach with e-collars because they're the only way you're going to have like a reliable anything off leash. So if you want your dog to be able to be leashless in your yard and be able to come in, you would need to e-collar train them a good recall. So how you do that is you start with food luring, leash pressure, then you name it, then you layer on the e-collar, and you'll have a leash on them the whole time you're doing all this process because the e-collar is not directional. So we need to tell them what this pressure means. So then you'll have a leash on them. You'll teach them a nice, good recall. Do it inside, do it outside, and then you'll have a nice, good recall. Otherwise, it's just a game. It's just a game for the dog, And without a leash, there's no way to hold him accountable. So teach a nice, solid recall.
Yeah, everything you said, starting off inside, doing lots and lots and lots of reps. So the only way you're going to be able to get that off leash picture and guarantee your dog is going to come back to you is with the e-collar. Now, of course, we would recommend seeking the advice of a professional because the way we e-collar train is very complicated. There are, brain freeze, 4 steps. 4 steps to e-collar training, and we do these steps for a reason so the dog really understands what that pressure means. So starting off inside with the long line, and you're going to pattern your dog coming to you, and yeah, they're going to get a treat when they get to you. You could use a prong collar to teach them pressure on, pressure off. So at least then you're patterning it a lot, and they're going to get that treat reward until you can go to e-collar. But yeah, what Susan said.
And Emily said hi.
Oh, Emily says good evening. Hello, Emily. How are you doing? Let's see.
I got one. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Okay. Aw, you're great. Pretty fantastic. I love how you say y'all.
Y'all. I'm doing great, Emily. Thank you so much for asking.
Rachel, when
Yes,
can
ma'am.
I start crate training my dog?
When?
When?
Right now. Right this second. Put us on pause. Go get to work. You can't pause this for life. So the sooner the better. Um, if you get your puppy at the age appropriate, at an appropriate age, and honestly, even if not, when you get your puppy at between 8 to 12 weeks, because that's when they should be coming home, you can start crate training with them. You're going to build that crate up to be a super awesome place. They go in there, have some food. But we're also going to teach them that we can't act like a fool in there. We're not going to scream. We're not going to cry. We're not going to bite at the bars. We're not going to do any of that tomfoolery, right? So when your puppy's little, they're not going to be in the crate for long because they can.
I'm like, what if someone's last name was Foolery and they named their dog Tom? Then it would be Tomfoolery.
Oh my God. What did you say the other day? Who did you have that I was like, if that's their dog's last name, you called a dog a nickname. I don't know. Yes, I want to change my name to Foolery.
Oh my God, that'd be so great.
We could do it though. Foolery could be a middle name. My dog's name is Tom, and they're like, "Why is your dog's name Tom?"
Because his middle name
Because
is
he's Foolery. Okay. Anyways, as I was trying to say, and it's very professional dog training Q&A, Susan.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, you don't have to be professional. It scares me.
Okay.
So you can start crate training as soon as possible. The sooner you start, the better. Because what that's doing is it's teaching your puppy this is how life is. We go in the crate. That's cool. We don't come out because we bark and we cry and we whine. And this is how life is. And then do that for a little bit. Your puppy's going to learn. Crate's a pretty cool place to be. And this is just a routine. So in the beginning, your puppy's not going to be in there long because they're going to need to go out to go potty all the time. So you want to make sure you never take your puppy out of the crate when they're barking, crying, because they're going to learn barking and crying gets me out of the crate. So then the next time they go in, they're going to bark and cry. But you can start crate training as soon as possible.
Yep.
Emily says, what are some tips on being able to keep a diaper on my female dog during her time? She just rips it off. That is a really unique question, Emily.
It is unique. First of all, no.
Could you go away, please?
So, okay, keeping a diaper on your unspayed female. I'm going to try. I don't want to say just train your dog because, so what's going to be useful
Can I say just spay your dog?
I was going to ask her why her dog's not spayed, but I wasn't going to go there. So
I'll go there. Just spay your dog, Emily. Your pretend imaginary female dog you have, spay her.
It's going to be a reputable breeder. It's fine.
Okay.
So things that are going to be of use to you is the word no, out, and counter conditioning if you want to go that far. So you can counter condition having a diaper on. It's going to take a while. Yeah, it's going to take a while if your dog really hates it. So you start out with like, here's the diaper, click and reward. Diaper's coming closer to you, click and reward. You know, diaper's on you, click and reward for duration of how long the dog can have the diaper on them. Start with just, a couple seconds to longer. Oh, she's a puppy, you just got her. Okay.
Oh, okay. So she's just going to go through a heat and then get spayed. So that's fine.
Okay, yeah. But if you teach your dog a good out command, then when she even turns towards that diaper, you can say out. But if you miss that and the dog already has their mouth on the diaper, that's a no and a punish. So 3 things. You can counter condition having it on, but the counter conditioning doesn't stop your dog from wanting to rip it off. It'll still probably try to snag at it. Mm-hmm. So out is nice if you catch a dog before the act of badness, right? So here's the diaper, and the dog's like, and you're like, out. Okay, cool. But if the dog's already like snapped, their mouth is on the diaper, that's a no and a punish. And you can punish with a bonk, compressed air, a leash pop, but make it uncomfortable to have your mouth on the diaper, counter condition it, and teach the out command. What about you, Rachel?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, so for anyone who doesn't know why we were laughing, Emily's my sister. If you couldn't tell by the last name, she does not have a female dog. She asks fun questions for us because we enjoy people who ask dog training questions. So anybody watching, ask a question, guys. Make one up. We love it.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that was like a really interesting question. You never know, right? Somebody could either have a dog who they're planning on keeping intact or be in this situation that Emily just made up. Oh, I just got this dog. She's on her period. What do I do? And the quickest thing is going to be you've got the dog. She's already having her time of the month, or however often dogs have it. Don't come at me for not knowing that. Correcting it is going to be.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Emily. It was a real question for her friend. So I'm assuming your friend's dog is on her period right now. So the quickest way is going to be to have that diaper on, and if she goes to mouth at it, correct it. Now you could then what?
Well, if she literally has a puppy that it's menstruating like right now, or it's in heat right now, you can if it's like happening right now and you don't have time to prep and like teach the out command and whatever, you can get one of those lampshade Elizabethan collars.
Oh yeah, smart.
The dog can't chew
The
at
cone.
it. Really annoying, but then
Right.
you won't have to be like correcting the dog every 5 seconds.
Right. And I've also heard we'll go all the way into this. They should be pretty good at keeping themselves fairly clean. Leaks happen. But also, crate train your dog, and she could be in her crate with like pads down too. Not that she needs to be in the crate for her whole time, but that's going to give her a break from the collar and the Elizabethan collar, and a break from wearing the diapers. But also, you just got this dog, so crate trainer because crates are awesome. Any other comments on this one?
No.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to suggest that. Thank you for asking questions, Emily. You have a beautiful night. Crystal says, sometimes my husky acts like she doesn't know her name when I call her. What can I do to help with recall?
That is a common
super awesome question.
That's a common one with puppies. There people say, I don't think my dog even knows their name. How I become relevant and get a dog to respond to its name all the time. Usually, so easy answer is your dog is going to be on a leash. And that's the only time I'm going to practice recall at first. Because I don't know if your husky's young or not. For some reason, I'm thinking puppy. No? Okay.
A bit older.
So I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to have a leash on you. I'm going to have some nice treats. And I'm going to practice recall. So for us, recall is your dog's name plus here. So I'm going to pattern this on leash because I know I can get this dog to come to me 100% of the time if I have a leash on it. And so you really want to build up your 11.
Yeah, I made a face because I know this dog. It's Bella, I think is her name. I always forget she's 11. In my head, she's like 6 or 7 years old.
You're like capped out.
Right. But continue with what you're saying, and then I'll add to it.
But yeah, unfortunately, if you try to call her and she doesn't come to you when you call her, you just watered down your recall. So I would want to do it on a leash, tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of times. To really pattern, this is what it means, this is what it means, this is what it means. You always get something great. It's a party when you come to me. Before you could ever try it off leash. Now, if you don't want to e-collar train your dog because she's older and you're like, then I would just build lots and lots of reps on leash. And then you'll have a recall off leash, because without the e-collar, there's going to be something that's more exciting than you. So no matter how awesome you made recall and no matter what awesome treats you have, so let's say you always reward your dog with a steak, when they come to you, your dog's going to be like, but Mom, there's some rabbit poop over here. So I'm going to eat this rabbit poop first, and then I'm going to come get that steak from you. So that's the best I have without e-collar is just to pattern the crap out of it on leash, and then you'll have a unpredictable off-leash recall.
Right. Everything you said, as always. Just want to comment on this. because Crystal says the husky's 11 years old. Is she just being sassy? Crystal, I'm really sorry. I think her name is Bella, but I feel like I'm wrong. But we're gonna go with Bella. So is Bella just being?
Wait, if it's not Bella, if your husky's name is not Bella, maybe you should say Bella to get your husky to come over because you might be calling her the wrong name. Okay, go.
So sassy. Yes, it is Bella. I know her dog, and I don't believe she's 11. I think you're lying to me, Crystal. Anyways, so is Bella just being sassy? So one of the things owners say a lot is, my dog knows better. My dog knows better. My dog knows better. Not saying you're saying that, but does she really know better? Does she really know Bella means you want her to come back to you? Or is she just like, Bella? Oh, okay, cool. Like, it's just been so watered down that it's just a word to her at this point. So we got to give that word meaning. If you want to take it the next step and make it a whole recall. So for my training, it would be Bella here. So as Susan was saying, I'll walk you through it again. You would have her on leash in your house. She's probably going to be laying down, chilling, relaxing, living her best life. You've got the long line on her. Take a few steps. You say, Bella, to get her attention. You get exciting. Put a little pressure on the leash if you need to. Once she gets up and moves to you, you can say here as well, or just praise her a bunch. Make it super awesome. She gets back to you. Then she gets that reward. And then you can say break, and you're going to do that again. So that's the process that Susan was talking about that you're going to want to do over and over and over, because that's giving it meaning. So I mentioned we say Bella to get her attention, give a little leash pressure we want. Once she's moving to us, then we say here. So in dog training, we always get the behavior first before we name it. Because if I just say Bella here and she's laying there, she learns Bella here means lay here because she's laying there. And that's what I'm telling her. Bella here. Cool. I'm going to keep laying here. So I want to get her moving towards me. And I'm going to pair that action with the command Bella here. If that makes sense.
It does. I love recall. It's so like dog training is so magical anyway. But like I love showing owners what it looks like, because at first, like if Crystal, you gave me Bella, I would do exactly what Rachel said. I'd have her on a leash. I'd have some food in my pouch, blah, blah. And I would be like, Bella. And then if she looked at me, I'd be like, oh, and she'd come running and I'd say, good girl. Then she'd get to me. I'd give her food. Awesome. I'd do that like 3 or 4 more times to make sure that every time I said Bella, she came towards me. And if not, leash pressure, right? And then if I'm doing one-on-ones, I'm like, look, guys, watch this. So I'm going to real quick slip in the word here after Bella, and Bella won't even notice, and she'll do exactly what I've just been doing. And so even though I've just been saying like, Bella, good job, Bella, good job, all of a sudden I'm like, Bella here, good job. And so it becomes Bella here. And it's just so magical and so fun.
I love how you said just slip in that word really quick, because I was doing trip training today with who was I doing this with? I think it was with London, and we're working on Play Dead with her, and we were doing it, and that's exactly how I felt, because there was like a little window that I wanted to say bang, which is the command, the trick, and I remember thinking like, I got to squeeze that in really quick right when she's doing the thing.
Yes.
So it's pretty fun. I think that's the biggest thing that, owners don't think about. A lot of times owners ask me, a little side note here, if you don't mind. I've had a few owners say, well, I want my dog to, we'll use recall as an example. I want my dog to come to me. I just don't know the right word to say. You can say anything you want. If you want your recall command to be get your butt over here, it's a little bit of a long command, but you could do that, the word doesn't matter. Dogs don't speak English. But pairing an action with the word is how you get your dog to do different things. And which is what I find super fascinating.
Oh my god! So
breakthrough moment.
Real quick. No, just a cute little thing. So you know how I always use cucumber as an example? Like I'm like, the word doesn't matter. I could say cucumber. You have to make the word mean something. How cool would it be to like be able to do a consult, and I have Sadie or whoever, and I actually taught them cucumber to mean like lay down. And so whenever I said cucumber, my dog actually laid down, because I'm like, the word doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Like just teach her just something silly.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That would be really fun.
Or Cucumber can come here. That'd be cool.
Right. Like, Cucumber, she comes running. They're like, what was that? Well, that's what I trained her. Oh my goodness. Crystal says, this most often happens when coming inside from the backyard after a potty break. My other dog Otis will come when I say puppies inside, but she does not follow most of the time. So, if I may make a comment first.
Yes.
Super fun, because I have graduation lessons this week. So this is part of my graduation packet, and I've had the joy of reading it 5 times in a row yesterday. So I have a whole sheet just on recall in my binder, because recall is one of the easiest commands to water down in your training. Recall is a command that most owners unconsciously train their dog not to do. So Miss Bella, she's not sassy, she's smart. She knows, I don't gotta go inside. And you know what's a lot more fun? Staying out here. And she knows that. So most often owners are calling their dogs to end fun time. So we call her because potty break's over, it's time to go inside, I've got things to do. Or get up off the couch, you gotta go outside and go potty. Like, we're ending what they want to do when we recall them, and dogs know that. They pick up on that real quick. So one of the things I tell my owners to do is randomly recall your dog. Randomly recall them, make coming to you awesome, lots of reward, just to tell them how cute they are, and then release them and let them go back to what they're doing. Because Bella knows you're calling her to bring her inside. So you're going to practice these reps with the long line. Then you're going to set this up. You're going to go, when you practice your recall with her inside, you can say puppies inside if you want. I don't have a problem with that. If that's what you want your recall to be, or, if you're inside and you call her to, it would be a little weird, but it would work. So you set it up. You have her on a long line. She's chilling in the yard sunbathing. You open up the door. You call her. Puppy's here. Use the long line to get her to you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Here's a reward. That was so great. Now you're going to say break, because that means the command is over, and you're going to guide her back outside. Like, thank you so much for coming to the door and seeing me. Thank you so much for coming inside. You can go back outside and keep hanging out if you want to. And then you want to do that a few times, because that's going to really make her think recalling to the door is not the end of the world. It's not mean fun time's over, even though it's going to mean it eventually. It's not that big of a deal. Crystal says, oh, sorry, did you have anything to add to that before I read this? She said, that makes sense. I have noticed she does respond when I say, Bella, come on, good girl. That's cool. So she is like, you address me by my name, please, because I'm a queen. I'm going to real quick go back, and Doris says, if we say, I think it got cut off, say cheese. Oh my God. Does Nash do something for that?
That's his recall, I think. Like, he'll come if they say cheese.
He's like, I'm ready. I know what that means. See you, Doris. Thank you for joining us. I hope I caught you before you left. That was like back to back to back. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Sorry, do you have anything else to add? I was kind of like answering and reading Crystal's comments like back to back a bit.
That was really great.
Well, I know usually we say that we've since cut our Q&A down from an hour to 30 minutes. And we were saying if people are still asking questions at the 30-minute mark, we're going to keep going. But Susan, I know you have an appointment. So do you want us to wrap up?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I just want to say I was right. This was one of our best Q&As.
Nice.
So thanks for watching, everybody, asking your super awesome questions. As always, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Pack Leader Dog and Rachel Kohler Dog Training. Happy training.
Oh, good night, Crystal.
Night, Crystal. Bye.